Hello folks and welcome back to Magic Arena, where they've given us a bunch of attack and cast creature spells, but I don't really have a deck for creatures, not really. So anyways, we're going back to this deck anyway, and it only has a couple creatures in it. So this deck is the Gaea's Blessing deck that just runs infinitely, and I've been doing tons of tuning. I said I'd come back to this, and I did. After I got more of the cards, I have many more cards than I did before. That said, it's still not 100% perfect, but it's getting there. So anyways, this was the package that seemed to work out the best. We got paired dresses for control plus whatever is early, maybe snag a Heart of Kieran of our opponent's hand if there's some other form, or even a bolt, like anything if they're red. And then on the flip side, we can go and steal maybe a Doomfall from our opponent, or, you know, whatever, a counterspell, a Teferi, you name it. We got some 3 Fatal Push for aggro, Battle at the Bridge also for aggro. Try to keep, you know, try to get an extra turn out of our life total, that kind of thing. We have a Blink of an Eye in here for dealing with problematic permanents to a point. Search for his contest, single copy. We go through the deck fairly quickly, so single copy seems to be the way of it. Just get toolbox stuff. Strategic planning, all 4 copies, just to clear through the deck as fast as possible. Also trigger Gaea's Blessing to shuffle back in all our tools that we were using for the match. If we were using them, we were using them for a reason, so get them back in the deck right away. We've got 2 casts down to tie with the aggro package, leaving us with an easy 6 early answers right there on turns 1 and 2. Okay, yes, the 3 Gaea's Blessings as usual to recycle. We've got 2 Thematic Compass in here just for when we're at the point where we need to just kind of deal with the long game and fetch up our answers, take some turns off to draw cards. This will give us the room to do that, so we're not running turn by turn. We have a copy of Dispossess. This, you might say, is sideboard, and sideboard running its own sideboard. But hey, name an artifact in any deck. Don't worry, I'll wait. It's easy. You can usually name something. Gear Hulk for control. You can name God Pharaoh's Gift. Anything. Like, seriously. You know the decks and you go, that I know the key card for that deck. Dispossess. We have enough card filtering that if you don't need it, it's probably not going to come up. We got 3 Doomfalls for our control and exiling things. We've got the Bantu's Last Reckoning for if our opponent gets a little bit of ahead of things or tries to pressure us all at once. We've got Lost Legacy to deal with problematic things if we're feeling like our Vraska's Contempts are getting taxed. Lost Legacy will at least take something out of the picture. And then we have 4 Glimmer of Genius in here now, just for the extreme card draw. You know, we're a little heavy on the 4 drops compared to what we used to be, but Glimmer of Genius definitely very helpful towards getting to those answers and just getting to the point where you're finally pulling ahead. Mastermind's Acquisition, so that we have access to the sideboard, which we'll deal with in a moment, since that's going to be relevant. We have the 4 Vraska's Contempts in here now, just to deal with anything that might come up. And with the recycling of Gaea's Blessing, it makes sure that we get them quite often. We've got Yeheni's Expertise as our other board wipe of choice, and then we've got a single Primal Amulet in case we manage to pull ahead at any time, or we get a turn where there's not a lot of pressure going on and we can slam it down and make sure that we can close out a game quickly. We still got the Ipnu Rivulets in here, some dead lands, and then a whole bunch of mana fixing. Arch of Vraska, Field of Ruin, and Scavenger Grounds beyond that for special lands. As you can tell, I probably need to work on the Fetid Pools and Drowned Catacomb a little bit more, maybe the Woodland Cemeteries. And I'm not really liking the Botanical Sanctum, but Hinterland Harbor seems acceptable. But generally the deck needs blue and black the most, and then Gaea's Blessing just happens to be a perk at a certain point. But we do have a sideboard, and I'll just flip over to this screen for this, since it's easier to see. So we got 2 duress to make a playset of duress for the control matchup. We've got an extra fatal push to shore up versus aggro, Jace's defeat versus blue, obviously, and some negates to deal with some spell heavy decks. We've got a parrot naturalized to deal with, I guess, artifact heavy decks. There's plenty of them still around, even vehicles for that matter. Slam them in if somebody's running heavy vehicles. Drop it in there. Got a 4th Doomfall in here. Clean up that set. And we've got the Scarab God for matchups where that can be relevant. Red deck wins. Try to shore up a defense that way real quick. Close out a game. And we've got some Carnage Tyrant for decks that can't particularly deal with Carnage Tyrant very well. And we have also Torment of Hailfire if we can find a way to kill our opponent out of nowhere. Say we get a flipped amulet. That's usually the case of it. You get a flipped amulet and it's like, okay, I'll go grab a Torment of Hailfire and just double it up on our opponent and just win the game outright. So that's the deck. Let's get into some games. I've been working so hard on this deck for a regular win rate, and this is where it's at. So with that, see you in the games. Alright, we're on the play, and we're against Grim Meeper, whatever name that is. We have Dispossessed, Doomfall, and Primal Amulet. I suppose this is okay on the play. We can really just kind of judge it from here. So we'll just play some lands. Watch my cat take out our curtain. Damn it, cat. Harsh Scrutiny. That's a miss. I don't know what to target here because it looks like discard.deck if you're as deep as Harsh Scrutiny. Yeah. In any case, Fetid Pools, they didn't realize it was there, but we need our blue source for blink of an eye at some point here. I have a feeling we're going to get discarded out of the game here, and we're not going to actually have a game going, although they can't target our lands very well. There's a dress. Well, that sucks. They take that. Well, I'm going to go after the thing I fear the most from them, and that would be Walking Ballista. I would like to be able to not have to answer that in a situation with their deck. Gaunty, Aetherborn, Calico Skin Witch, they are deep on that. So, Chupacabras, Vraska's Contempts, Legion's Zealot, Nightmare, Josu Vess. Let's take a look at the problems. Nightmare, Josu Vess, Noxious Gear Hulk for a future version, Urgaros, Demon of Dark Schemes, Tetzamok. So what would be my future things to worry about? Josu Vess, I would fear. And then Nightmare, for the most part. Okay. I find it funny when I name cards that should be in your deck and they're not in your deck. It's like, why would you not put Ballista once you pacified your opponent and just sit there with a Ballista ever growing? But you invest in Calico Skin Witch. Wow. Opponent is just going off. We want the Primal Amulet down if they can't deal with that. That way our top decks are pretty good. They're going to keep us discarding forever. So let's have this down, because clearly they can't deal with this portion of it. Gaunty's going to be a problem, of course. Blink of an Eye is actually terrible for us, too. Like, it's not even a useful card. Like, it draws us a card, sure. But that's kind of where it ends. Yeheni's Expertise. Like, what did they steal from us? I have no idea. We're just going to respond to their effects right now. We'll play reactive. If they make us discard by their choice, then we'll take out something. Strategic planning, fine. Alright, that's what gets banned. Dusk Legion Zealot shows up. They have a lot of ETB creatures, that's a little bit annoying. Do I care about that? Not really. Alright, we get an Ipnu Rivulet. Doesn't seem to really matter other than blinking with a little bit of draw a card action going on. So we'll just play their game for a little bit. Calico Skin Witch. At this point, Yeheni's expertise is real good. So we'll just bin 2 cards, it's fine. Our opponent is super deep, but once we get down to a certain point, like we're going to clear this board, and then their discard is dead. Okay, so Yeheni's expertise, we kind of lucked out with the strategic planning as the free spell, so we can follow up, grab something relevant. And that card is strategic planning, putting all that stuff back. And the only thing we've lost is a Vraska's Contempt, which I'm not too happy about. Let's be fair. I'm going to do it this way. And the discard is a problem. Like, it straight up is a problem. So we're going to just try it. We're going to grab a swamp here because we can trust in our swamps. And just top deck the answers. We're going to go top deck mode. We have an Ifnir Deadlands for Gifted Aetherborn here, so that's not a problem. We have Bantu's Last Reckoning, which I'm tempted to cast just for the sake of casting it. It's only 2 mana and it flips the Primal Amulet, which I find is relevant enough. So we can get double effects out of the things that we need. I mean, that makes our top decks that much better, is when we can double each and every one of them. So I'm willing to not untap for a turn. And we only use 2 mana, to be fair. Like, we have all our colors still, so we're actually just fine. We blanked our opponent. Now we can Doomfall them and strip the rest of their hand this turn. And then we turn the tables and say, how do you like it? How do you like it? How do you like it? Punk, Essence Extraction. He's holding the swamp. Done. Like, we are very unlikely to trust our hand. Tetsamok appears out of nowhere. And we can Gaia's Blessing. Gaia's Blessing can target a few things here. I think that, well, we only have green through doubling, so let's see. Let's just put everything back. Masterminds and Glimmer are the 2 remaining cards. You have to kind of keep that stuff in mind, because Gaia's Blessing's a little confusing that way, because it still leaves the initial cards in there. But we do... we're done. Right here. Done. Done? Alright, fine. We draw a land. And we draw a land. Wonderful. I'm glad the deck is firing on all cylinders right now. I'm going to knock Tetsamok down. I don't want a clock being that fast on us right now. I want them to have minimal time to take us out. So we're going to sack the that. Make that clock much, much larger. There we go. Okay, now we're good. So we get this down. Now Tetsamok's not a problem. I was hoping for a Thematic Compass to come along, honestly. Now we can just maze away that problem. Yeah, by the way, dude, you're never attacking me. Alright, I'm going to just Doomfall their creature. They're stuck on discard forever, so they've got a ton of dead draws. So we're just going to take out their Tetsamok, exile it. And now they're stuck on nothing. We're top decking. That's what the nature of their deck is. But if we ever pull around to our Mastermind's acquisition, they're in a tough spot. We've got a Fatal Push. They might duress it away. Bantu's Last Reckoning. Alright, well, whatever. They may try to value us. Nightmare shows up out of nowhere. That's fine. We can still maze it, or we can just cast it down. Easy. Actually, cancel that. Maybe we can get some value with a Maze of Ith play if they don't make us discard. Up until that point, we can just simply wait. And then that's when we fire it off, because they make us fire it. So, we'll take it now. But there was a chance we could double it there if they drew a creature instead. Now we're getting somewhere. We got an Archer Vraska, so now we can really pull ahead. Alright, let's draw some cards then. Oh, there we go! We're... the one thing that beats discard! Card draw! Also did the game lock up there because we were mid-action. Is that still a bug? That is apparently still a bug. Well, we got the victory anyway, folks, so see you in the next one. Alright, we're in, we're on the play, and I have no idea how to pronounce Buddy's name, but strategic planning and cast down seem like ideal early game things to go either direction with things. The guy's blessings are kind of dead cards in hand, that happens, but oh well. It's like a moldified, but the three cards that are relevant, and Guy's Blessing can become relevant later. We can always just cycle back some of these things depending on what we need. Like if we need card draw, we'll go with these, and if we need, well, this can always take a Gear Hulk out if it's control. But I mean, I'd rather have my Vraska's Contempt, so... I mean, Vraska's Contempt, Strategic Planning, and Guy's Blessing are basically what the deck hinges on. Glimmer of Genius pretty good in there too, if you can pull it off. But it feels like bonus. In any case, our opponent has yet to show up. Alright, I don't know if it timed out or if our opponent's actually here, but we'll see. It looks like they're here. Alright, so nothing happened on turn 1 other than a swamp, so we're going to go grab... I mean, our land is important, but we have an Archer Vraska for now. I'm going to grab the Vraska's Contempt because black do nothing says I should probably have that on hand. Aether Hub, second color, Glint Sleeve Siphoner shows up. We want to cast that down immediately. Never threatening the card draw. Never mind, we get something super easy. It's called Fatal Push. Enjoy that. If this is the blue-black mid-range, even a green-black is tough on us. Or is it mono-black? Who knows? And the hub's in there just simply for Glint Sleeve. Ew, that's gross. Takes our card draw away from us. Alright, fair enough. Now, we could be able to ruin that easily. In fact, I'm going to. If they got an answer, they got an answer. Let's just take out that, but, I mean, it's something, and it gets us to either double black or green. I'm going to go with the double black first. I don't respect needing green. Okay, there's their blue. And a Submerged Boneyard, sure. You got a second Doomfall on the ready? Well, we do need our discard for this matchup. But instead we have Vraska's Contempts to deal with whatever. Sure. And Ipni Rivulet. Sounds good. As long as we're getting lands, ideally green sources would be great at some point in time. Doesn't matter when, as long as we get them sometime. Yeah, you got that. We want to kill it for sure. We want to kill this. Not a problem. Deny them that. They might be trying to throw garbage at us. Here's a Woodland Cemetery. Things are much better in our lives. So we're going to go grab cast down. Strategic planning. Field of Ruins seems relevant. Primal Amulet also relevant, but it's probably likely to get countered, so we're going to go this route with it first. And get a Mastermind's Acquisition. Now what would work in a matchup like this under Masterminds? They have Doomfalls, which we have to clear first. Let's just ship the turn. I don't expect them to have another Doomfall yet. But they may try to slam something. Oh, come on! Well, our sideboard's gone. Unless they fear the Vraska's Contempt more. Nope, they don't. Well, we're playing main deck now. Thematic Compass is real good. Alright, so we're going to grab our Gaia's Blessing, that, and that. We're going to be milling them out now because they were jerks about things and had to run Doomfall. And who runs Doomfall, those jerks? Come on! There's the Scarab God. There's a pair of Gear Hulks, I should add. None of these cards are relevant to us except for the ones we can't take right now. So we'll land this down at least. They may try to land something. They don't. Well, we're going to land Search for His Kanta. This is the blue-black mid-range. Alright, let's fetch a land. And we don't need the green source. We mostly need to just jack up our black sources as much as possible. Our card count in the graveyard is at 3. Just bin that. We're fine. And draw. The Glimmer's pretty good. Let's get ahead of this game. That flips. They're only at 4 lands, I might add. So we have to find an answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're at actually a lot of mana sources where we can Contempt and Glimmer. That's pretty good. Meanwhile, they can only cast Scarab God right now. So I'm feeling good about our position, like real good about our position. Well, we have now 3 Vraska's Contempts for the 3 threats that we know of. Can't complain about that, and we'll take that for Gearhulk. And now we have City's Blessing, so do your worst, opponent. We're at 5 cards, by the way. In there. They know it's there. They have their 6 now, by the way. They have nothing of relevance in the graveyard for a Gearhulk to get. Because they're the mid-range and they got the Essence Scatters more... Basically, I'm sure they got scatters, cast downs, pushes, that kind of thing. But for now, I mean, we're in the clear. We can do whatever the heck we want because that's us. How about this? Let's grab a card. Let's grab a free card. Are you fearing counterspells from us, opponent? Seriously, we can do whatever the hell we want at this time. Our opponent doesn't really have the answers at all. They might drop a Gearhulk to try and pressure us right now, but they don't. Scavenger Grounds is a really great pickup, though. So we are at 5. And I'm going to take that because it deals with the graveyard. And just threatens our opponent in that angle. We don't need the Search for His Kanta to flip that badly at this position. We're so well off. Our opponent is never landing anything. So we can easily cast down the Gearhulk at end of turn if they're just trying to pressure us right now. Yeah. Okay, so let's take the end turn off here. They go and target a cast down. Yep, you got it. Well, guess what? I'm firing it first. And I would like to keep the arch around. Thanks. Alright, well, go ahead, opponent. You just made us have one additional card in our graveyard, so congratulations on that. Yeah, we're shredding blue-black mid-range. Isn't this supposed to be the deck that is the big bad once again, that everyone's going back to because it's apparently good again? The Mad Compass, real good. So we're at 6. Our 7th card will show up here. Unless they blink of an eye us or some BS like that. We'll replay it. Drowned Catacomb, Graveyard, flip. It's fine by us. Now we're just sitting on so much card advantage. Let's get the Rivulet down. Let's jam the Thematic Compass, because why not? And I think we're good on our generic blue sources for what we need to hold up, so let's just jam the Compass. If they're... No, they're running Essence Scatters. They're pretty much a stock deck. So we'll see what happens here. We have enough mana to Vraska's Contempt multiple times if we need to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana on our opponent's side. We get a flip. We have 2 Spires in play. 2! We have 2 Spires, we have Scavenger's Grounds, we have an Arch of Vraska, and we have an Azcanta. Do your worst, opponent. Do your worst. We are freaking golden right now. But what I wanted to do was check. Our opponent is nowhere near reanimating if they were to play a Scarab God. So while they're mulling over whether or not they want to Torrential Gearhulk here, which, okay, we'll take the end turn off. It's fine. Yeah, I don't fear anything from them. So we're going to Azcanta here. That's going to tax our mana base just a hair. But I'm okay with that. Just to find a more ideal card. But we don't. So we're going to grab the Vraska's Contempt. And play revealed Vraska's Contempt. Well, we have all our Vraska's Contempts. Let's just jam them at this point. Who cares? Two Gearhulks down. And, I mean, Scarab God's that kind of exception right now that we have to worry about. Bloodfast. Yeah, that's not going to matter that much, buddy. We have 3 Vraska's Contempts in hand. You're going for Doomfalls at best. I mean, we're going to end up, like, we have no masterminds to really take advantage of things, but who knows what we'll find. Okay, so now we have near anything we want. Our position is so good, and our opponent has no idea how good it is right now. It's real good, opponent. It's real good. So we do want our Field of Ruin as well. Just to deal with the Bloodfast once it flips. I'll take Blink of an Eye, that's fine. Seems like an acceptable enough card. Ship it back. Now if they duress us, hopefully they just concede. They have 3 mana for whatever. I'm guessing they're holding up what they want to make us think is disallow, but honestly, I don't see that happening. I'm not respecting disallow. I've seen this deck before a million times. I'm not expecting it to happen. If they got disallow, well, then we'll have to cast another Contempt. Also, the Blink of an Eye is good for the Bloodfast in that regards, if we get down to that route. So we can blink, and then we can Vraska's Contempt to target. Like a Champion of Wits is, who cares? They're never finding anything relevant for this matchup. They will never find anything relevant. We'll just stay fully ahead of them. We could kill this at some time in our leisure. We have the Scavenger Grounds, so that... yeah, sure. Yeah, throw all your creatures in there in the face of a Scavenger Grounds. Good job, buddy. Good job. You fool. So this is going to be a long match, but I mean, between you and me, we know that we've got this pretty much wrapped up. They're not even close to being able to get in our league right now. Duress or Yeheni's Expertise or Primal Amulet. All good choices. I think we should probably Duress just for safety reasons. And hopefully that kinks into their plans. But what we do really need is a Doomfall to deal with the problem stuff. Guy's Blessing's not bad either. And there's a land. Get our land drop. Let's Duress our opponent. Put some pressure on them. And if they do have counter spells, then that's what they have to deal with. They still, they have nothing of relevance to us except for Scarab Gods that they're not playing. So, there you go. The Vraska's Contempt doesn't matter. The cast downs don't matter. Nothing matters here. I'll just leave him with big, expensive removal. Just so that he knows that he's never getting anywhere here. Alright, so let's recycle some of our card draw. Maybe the Guy's Blessing, that kind of thing. Grab the strategic planning and I guess Glimmer. Put the card draw back in the deck because I want the things in the deck more than I want really anything else at the moment. So let's recycle. And we get our Field of Ruin. Well, it's for another turn, but who cares? Now, the problem here that we're also dealing with is that these 10 cards are in the graveyard if we need to Scavenger Grounds. So I'm thinking that maybe we don't necessarily need to care about what they bring back with Scarab God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so this is likely a turn where they bring it out and they reanimate. And we don't care, honestly. We can blink of an eye whatever they bring back. It just doesn't matter. It's not like they've got a Glimmer in the yard or anything like that. You're going to Field or Ruin my Scavenger Grounds? I'll get it back later. I want it back later. I don't want to activate it now. Let's grab our last land. Let's let them try. Yeah, we don't care about your Champion of Wits. We just don't care. I'll kill your stupid Scarab Gods and we'll call it a day. I should save this blink of an eye at all costs for the Bloodfast. However, if we find our Lost Legacy at any point with this, then we can steal their Scarab Gods and then they're just left floundering here. Oh, they found it. They found the courage to play it, I mean. So, who cares? Alright, blow it up. Real easy. Okay. Easy peasy. Now they would have tried to protect it, like at least put an effort in. The old college try, if they had actual counter spells. I don't believe they have any form of counter spells. Doomfall seems great. Our opponent has not given up the fight yet, though. Okay, so we get our Field of Ruin down. Which just simply deals with the Bloodfast all on its own, so we don't need to rely or lean on blink of an eye anymore. Strategic planning, anyway. And there's the Guy's Blessing, so we're going to grab the strategic planning. Shuffle everything back in, because why not? There's a whole bunch of good cards there, including our very specific... We're just going to keep going. They're nowhere in our league at all right now. I'm going to take Glimmer here. We only need to really Doomfall the key critical stuff. And I don't think they're going to have very much key critical stuff. So let's take it. And so, yeah, they're with a bunch of dead cards. We take their Scarab God. They've got nothing at this point in time. We've got an Azcanta. Fine. Do your worst. We've taken out 2 of your Scarab Gods. And a Gear Hulk, apparently. Yeah, you keep doing that. We totally feel the ruining that. Our opponent could have made it easy and not Doomfalled our Field of Ruin. We could have beaten them a lot faster, but now we have to beat them the slow, painful way, and this is what you get for playing a meta deck. I know exactly what you're playing, and that's what this deck does well against, is the meta decks. You're going to never. Whatever. Attempting to return something? Whatever. Go ahead, return. You're going to take a card away from me? Going to take a Doomfall away from me? I don't care. As soon as I get Lost Legacy or Dispossess, you're boned. That said, how many more of these things do they have? Don't know. You're going to take the strategic planning. Okay, fine. So we have less strategic plannings to work with in the deck. That's fine. Sure. Okay. We have to actually pay life here, I think. So they're just trying to get that Champion of Wits back. They're only halfway through their deck, so we're not really in a position to really... you know what? I'm going to Glimmer here first. Which means that this mana is actually more required. I want to have a good selection of cards here. Duress is good. For what it's worth, anyway. Hey, look, our Scavenger Grounds. That Field of Ruin did some work. I mean, it's still at the top of the deck, but we've got it right here. Well, I mean, this is the top of the graveyard, but, I mean, to be fair. I don't think our opponent really knows how dead they are. I really don't think they know. Anyways, let's untap stuff. Oh, look, a strategic planning. They probably don't want us milling over like that. So that's probably where their problem is. Anyways, let's direct... Or it's over! They finally gave up! That's what this deck is supposed to do, is beat the meta decks. And that's exactly what it does. Well, that's the deck for today, folks. I'll probably do some more videos so you can see some more dynamics of the deck as it goes. Just weird things, weird interactions, stuff like that. Things like the last game where a Lost Legacy, we knew what we'd be targeting. We grab one of their Scarab Gods, easy. A Dispossess, go grab whatever Gear Hulk, the Torrential Gear Hulk, very easily. Like, we know these targets. That's why, you know, if you know the meta, these cards get better. It's the weird decks that always get you when it comes to that. But even so, you might know what their key card is or the most threatening. And sometimes they're not running the card that threatens you the most. In which case, Lost Legacy might be a wasted card, but you're just breathing a sigh of relief because it's not there. And you can handle the situation. But in any case, yeah, It did some performance today. Very, very nice performance today. Also, yeah, deck list will be down in the description. You can copy paste all you want. Also, I'm going to add a link to Discord that we recently opened up. So you want to come over and chat with us about Magic, we definitely do it there. And find out about little things, back-end information, stuff like that. All right, well, take care. Hope you enjoyed, folks. I'll bring it back here shortly, and bye-bye.